This goes out to anybody. Anybody. Okay, first off, let me set the dinner before I chow down on this. All right. I just read a story about Carol Sanchez. I think she's like black in Honduras or something like that. And they said she was kidnapped. Come to find out, the kidnapping was a hoax. That's the short story. Okay. And this is like the third this year, not counting Jussie Smollett, but as far as a black woman, and when it comes, this is the second when it came to kidnapping. The other one was about the girl getting her dreadlocks cut off. The other one was about the homegirl with the kidnapping. She thought she was being kidnapped and all this. It turns out she lied about that. And you got this one right here with Carol Sanchez. Come to find out this shit is a hoax because she didn't want to go back to Honduras, where he was like, I think that's where her mother is from, or some shit like that. So, and look, okay, I want to say this because this is first things first. I'm gonna keep my the same energy when I said they do not need to be punished, but they need to be talked to and understand why this shit isn't good. This shit isn't good, and you don't need to lie about shit like this. Now, this goes out to the people who say, "Well, there are plenty of girls out there that's being kidnapped, and it seems like no one's talking about this." And, okay, let me talk about that. We know, men know, women know, sex trafficking is a real thing. You don't have to remind people about that. People know. I understand this. All right, you do not need to lie about this, especially black people. It's hard enough that y'all people we're at the bottom of the totem pole, and I say this from black men and women. It's hard enough that you're bottom at the totem pole anyway. Anyway, we do not need to be lying about shit that we know is happening and people are. And it's not that this shit is going ignored. This shit is being real. They may not say this on the news, but be mindful. People are. Every time I go on Facebook, I hear about another stories about these missing black girls and the kidnappings and Amber Alerts and all the other shit. I've seen this. I know there's been a lot of to bring up girls home. This shit was like real big in DC. A lot of DC 14-year-old, teenage black women, black girls, they was getting kidnapped. It's like we know, especially like the sex trafficking shit is. You do not need to lie about this. There's no reason for it to. I used to say, don't fake the funk. We know the funk is there. We know it's real. You do not this does not help. I don't care. Like people when Jussie Smollett lied, and people was like, oh, so I'm talking too fast. Let me calm. When people said when we was talking about Jussie Smollett and how he was lied, and he was talking about, and a lot of gay black men was coming at straight black men because obviously. Like there was a lot of straight black men that beat up gay people for no reason. A lot of and the people that never beat up gay black people, that never beat up gay, we kind of like got the gist of it. And I used to tell people, we know. It's like, we understand, but you do not need to. And I tell this, if you're coming at me based off a lie, it doesn't make your shit valuable because even though we know it's true, what we're looking at, what you're coming off of, is no reason for you to come at black men. Now, if you got something against black men, that's on you, but you don't need to come at me off of a fake story. Especially with the kidnapping. We know that a lot of women are getting kidnapped. You don't need to lie about that to come to the bigger issue. We know the bigger issue. It's like, I feel like when it comes to shit like this, and I say this all the time, I feel like people want us to be Batman. Or vigilante. I always say Batman, but people want us to be vigilantes. We want to take the law into our own hands. As much as I would like to, vigilante is illegal. And sometimes we don't we don't know as much as anybody. So it was like the thing about Batman and the thing about some superheroes and Batman, like they have the technology to fight crime. Like a lot of them, we're not like I don't have a fucking bat belt that I can like trap a whole fucking gang of people in if I'm ever surrounded. I sometimes I just hope I have a gun on me, which is fucking illegal. And trust me when I say this, if vigilante wasn't a crime, a lot of people would do it. Trust me. Anytime when you hear that your loved one is being kidnapped, and if you know and the police are not doing it, you want to do it from your own hands. But sometimes you gotta follow the law. It seemed like some punk shit. A lot of people look at it as some punk shit. I don't think it's some punk shit. It's just like there's things that you wish you can do and wish you can't do. Now, don't get me wrong. If I have a daughter, I'm killing for my daughter. Like my niece, if anybody tries to come at my niece, I'm killing for my niece. It's like, and yes, this means that I will probably protect my family before I protect black women. Now, don't get me wrong. I do feel like all black women should be protected, but logically, we have to like draw some lines. But shit like this, like when it comes to like these women, ain't not. I don't want to say women, even though it was like three black women. One like I said, the dreadlocks and the kidnappings. There have been three black women. And as much as I say support black women, you got to understand we're on your side. And I say this all the time. We're on your side. It's not that we want this to happen. There's a lot of men I could tell you that will like fight for your right to do anything. Like I know a lot of people who just fight for your right to do anything. But you also know that even if we want to do shit like this, we need a plan. Usually the plan is, you probably talk to the authorities and hope the authorities will, like, even the fucking, everybody knows when you go to the cops, it's like, oh, you got to go through this, and this, and all that other bullshit. And that's why, like, people rather take it into their own hands. Or as I would like to call street justice. If they, but, in conclusion, I hope these lies stop. Like, you do not, like, things about this, like, when it comes to kidnapping, you getting beat up because of your skin tone, all that shit. You don't need to lie about that. No. Alright? It's just, I hope that really stops because it does sort of take away from, other people that really get kidnapped. And that's why it's not that it really, because the people that really did happen, sometimes, like, that shit triggers them and they go off on other people. And when you realize it's a lie, and it's like, oh, she's been there before, I understand that. But it's like, we're not going to fight off a lie. I'm not trying to fight off a lie. I'm not trying to bring my peoples in on a lie. I'm not trying to get people, like, if this shit really happens, and I tell this thing, but if this shit really happens, we're going to do something about it. If shit really fucking happens, we're going to do something about it. There's no need to lie to us. We know it's out there, and we know, but you don't really have to do shit. It reminds me of those in high school when girls used to get niggas to jump other dudes, and that's just like, that shit is petty. That shit is corny, and shit is weak. It's like, and even if okay, like, there was a story, I don't know, I got into an argument with a girl. I never put my hands on her. It was more or less of a debate, and I was winning the debate. Let's just say that. I don't want to say argument. We was having a debate about something. I was obviously winning the debate. And she go, I'm going to get some niggas to jump you. And I looked at her, I said, all right. I never got jumped, but I was like, but the fact that you say that, it always is like, not only is a turn off, it's like, I look at you as lame. It's like, instead of, people, instead of having a conversation, it's like, and we could settle, you can agree to disagree all you want to, but, like, you want to get niggas to jump me off an opinion? It's like, yo, you fucking lame. It's like, and I don't know, that's one of my biggest pet peeves. And that's why I'm so passionate about this, because I know shit like this happens. I know there's, like, really people out there kidnapping people and all that shit. You don't need to lie about it. Alright? Because now that, we're wasting all this time about your shit, and come to find out you lie about it, someone else is getting kidnapped. We don't need that in our life. There's like we need to put our attention on the women that are kidnapped, the women and the men that are kidnapped and taken away from their homes. We really need to focus on that. So let me know what you guys think. Um, and on the Carol said, like I said, on the Carol chest, look, she doesn't need her ass beat. She doesn't, and I've been on this even with Jesse Smollett. I said he didn't need to go to jail. He just need a really stern talking to by the black community. It's the same thing with the chick with the dreadlocks, the same chick with the chick that lied about a kidnapping. It's like y'all just need some stern talking to, and then I don't know. Someone talk to this girl, because what she did was not cool, and I'm just say that. Today, my name is Oskino Fly, and I'm out. Peace.